Today on Commander Replay, it's Lavinia versus Lavinia and two other players that don't really matter. Find out what happens when we get into a battle of tutus. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, I want to take a second to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Just to let you guys know, I do have a Twitter page now, so feel free to check me out on Twitter at Commander Replay. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some more Lavinia Azorius Renegade. We won the die roll. Take a look at the opening hand. We've got 4 lands. We've got a Rest in Peace with no artwork. Board wipe, Rest in Peace, Blatant Thievery. Feels pretty good. Uh-oh. Dave brought his Lavinia deck. Well, this could be fun. Lavinia against Maelstrom Wander seems pretty good, right? Yeah, let's keep. All right, so we are leading it off. Let's go Arid Mesa into Mistveil Plains. And we will pass like that. Being on the play in a game like this is a game for strong decks. Name of this game is Strong Decks, No Salt. Land tax for Dave. Having some fun in the chat. Halimar Depths for the Oona opponent. They get to take a look at the top 3. We draw into a Mystical Tutor. Not exactly sure what we need to go for yet. Right here, let's get the Glacial Fortress. Then let's just cast our commander. Should shut down weird mana rocky kind of plays, things like that. Land tax is going to trigger. So as I mentioned, we're playing Lavinia Azorius Renegade. Is a blue and a white for a 2/2. Says, each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with converted mana cost greater than the number of lands that player controls. And whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. So far, I found it really tough to measure those abilities. I know that there are some commanders that just absolutely get hosed. Like, that first match we played against the Shroom opponent, they're all about mana rocks and not having necessarily a ton of lands in play to try to cast all their spells hits them really hard. Also thinking that it's going to hit this Maelstrom Wanderer opponent really hard, but I've noticed that it doesn't hit everything really hard. Like, creature decks are still in the clear. Has some trouble with an Olivia Valderin, so that's a thing to keep in mind. Yeah, I don't know. So when the abilities work, they are certainly very strong. The thing that I'm trying to figure out right now is how often do they work. There's a Soul Ring for the Oona opponent. So, like, one of the things we can't tell, we don't know if opponent had a backup play to that Soul Ring that, you know, they now can't do. Like, for me, I would love to do something like Soul Ring Ambition's Cost on turn 2 or 3, something like that. That's a sweet little play. Makes it so you keep finding action, hit all your lands. They wouldn't be able to make that play, but we don't necessarily know that they're not making that play. So, it is a weird little thing. The world of Stax and prison-type decks is not my strong suit, so if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you probably know that. So, you know, still getting comfortable with exactly what playing Lavinia means. I know what it doesn't mean, but we're going to do anyway. We're going to take a shot into this Maelstrom Wanderer opponent. No one's got any creatures out. Although Dave does have boots, so he could, like, theoretically crack back with something. But if he does with anything, it's probably just his commander, which is 2, not the end of the world. So, oh man, do we Mystical Tutor? Like, some card draw would be pretty sweet. We could Mystical Tutor into Factor Fiction. Seems like not a bad place to be. The other thing we could do too, we have a board wipe. Ooh, Mana Vault. See if he's still able to cast with the Mana Vault. Heuristic Study. All right, good one, good one. And a Blind Obedience. Nice. So our opponents are just stacked. So our opponents are just going to be under the worst amount of stacks possible. This is Pilgrimage. It's going to trigger the Heuristic Study one time. Sad that we do not have a Heuristic Study. Interestingly, Maelstrom Wanderer not known for running a lot of board wipes. The thing that you would probably want against both of the decks we are playing are mass board wipes. An Austere Command would be awesome. A Bane of Progress would be really good. There's already a bunch of things worth hitting on the board. They may run something like a Bane of Progress that would actually fit into the deck pretty well, but from all the Maelstrom Wanderer decks that I've seen over the years, not tons and tons of removal in those decks. Land pass for the Oona opponent, so I think we must be keeping them from something. One more land they can cast their commander, though, so there's that. I decided not to use the Mystical Tutor right there, kind of save it as more of a silver bullety kind of thing, although the more cards that Dave draws, the more counterspells he's probably going to have. Don't actually know that we have that much going on at the moment, so I think we take a shot into the Oona right here. Going the Lavinia beatdown plan. We can't really go for Armageddon at this juncture. Dave has land tax down, and if someone Armageddon's, the player with land tax is definitely going to win that engagement. Here comes a Smothering Tithe. Ooh, yep, that's a spicy one. Mystical Tutor into Austere Command might be the thing that we want to do, I think. Unfortunately, we'll be 1 mana short to do that this turn. I guess we could go for Return to Dust. Return to Dust, we could hit Heuristic Study. If we ever resolve the Blatant Thievery, man, Dave's got a lot of good stuff. Chromatic Lantern for the Maelstrom opponent. Gonna trigger the Rhystic Study. Oona opponent is probably running a Cyclonic Rift. Question is, I guess, is anyone running Ugin? Because Ugin would be a very reasonable answer to all the stuff going on board right now. Nature's Lore coming down. Gonna trigger that Rhystic Study one more time. Dave drawn so many cards. Man, if we had like a Mana Crypt or a Soul Ring or something, I would definitely go for Austere Command right here. But because we don't, there's a moat. Oona scoops it. Can't handle the Stax. Pay 2 for the Smothering Tithe, not today. Play a Plains, do this the right way. Swing into the Maelstrom opponent. They go down to 36 for Commander. Play this moat. I don't know if that was actually a great idea or not. Though, Maelstrom may just scoop. Now that one player scooped, I would not be surprised to see Maelstrom scoop. A moat should hit them really, really hard. Oh, that's a Helm of the Host. Yeah, he's got mana. He does have mana. Ooh, this is going to be tough. Don't know how we're getting out of this. Well, looks like he's just going to activate it right away. All right, going after the Maelstrom Wanderer, so they are out of it. However, as long as he's not sitting on a free counterspell, which he very likely is, then... Actually, Lavinia prevents free counterspells. I think we're good. I think we can Austere Command. Wait, why didn't that work? Okay, yeah, Maelstrom Wanderer has no cards in their library. We're going to Mystical Tutor right now. Not paying 1 for the Rhystic Study. Wow, Dave's up to 13 cards. Does he have max hand size? Is anything giving him no max hand size? Let's get the Austere Command. Dave's going to Merchant Scroll. Okay, no, he has to discard down to hand size, so he's pitching all the lands. So Maelstrom Wanderer draws from an empty library, and they go down. It's going to bring it back to our turn. Smothering Tide trigger, just going to let that go. We draw the Austere Command, play the island, and blow up artifacts and enchantments. Rhystic Study will trigger one more time. Dave's got a lot more cards than us. That's probably going to win him the game. 8 cards versus 3, plus he's got a 9th one coming on his draw step. Ugh. That's a Force of Will. Lavinia's going to counter that Force of Will. He says, lol. So the stack resolved, Austere Command resolves, all the artifacts and enchantments going into exile, actually, because of Rest in Peace. So hitting a lot of stuff right there. Dave's still well ahead on cards. Actually, he got rid of a couple cards. So he got rid of Force of Will, the card he exiled when he cast the Force of Will for free. So that brought his card count down just a little bit. He's still well ahead of us, though. But luckily, we have some strong stuff in Blatant Thievery and Supreme Verdict. We need some card draw pretty bad. Would love to see one of our Sphinxes that draws cards. Don't necessarily know that they get through the counterspell wall that's probably assembled over there, but... So Dave gonna cast his commander Lavinia into play, and brings down an Arcane Laboratory. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Ooh. Well, we draw a Consecrated Sphinx. Hope this resolves. Boom, it's down. Well, that being the case, see if he wants to trade Lavinia's. He does not. Goes to 4 commander damage. And he draws a card. We get to draw 2 with the Consecrated Sphinx. We draw into a Crush Contraband and a Strip Mine. Reasonable. Still want to find some more creatures, though. Pongify on the Consecrated Sphinx. Well, got us just enough cards to balance things out. Does get us a 3/3 Ape, which is still bigger than his 2/2, so may need to bully our way around with this 3/3 Ape. We draw into Thran Dynamo, play the Strip Mine, swing with the Ape. Our deck actually needs more creature removal, to be completely honest. Goes down to 30. I should have swung with Lavinia, too. Oh, well. Play the Thran Dynamo. We're short a blue source for the Blatant Thievery at this exact second, which is not the best. Really needed one more turn out of that Consecrated Sphinx. That would have been absolutely huge. But things are still okay. Ooh, he's going to play a Meek Stone. So that'll prevent our Ape from untapping. I think I'm just going to go ahead and shoot that right now with the Crush Contraband. So Crush Contraband, get the Meek Stone, get the Arcane Laboratory, see if he's got counters for that. Nope, actually he can't cast them because the thing was still in play. So sweet, that goes down. Our Ape will untap. There's the blue mana we need. Let us swing with both. We are currently set up to win the life race, but still a long ways to go. Anything could happen over the next 6 turns or so. Oh, man. So he's going to block my Lavinia with his Lavinia. And I feel okay about that because we have the Thran Dynamo. We've been making all of our land drops, so we can recast ours much easier than he can. It'll cost him a lot more in the sense of what he has to tap out. Think of it more so as the amount of mana that he can leave open each turn is going to be much lower than what we have because of the mana rock, because of the fact we've been making land drops. Somehow he actually missed 2 land drops. It's turn 9. Ooh, Omen Machine. So it's turn 9, and he's on 7 lands. Somehow he missed 2 land drops, even though he land taxed, so he must have discarded all of his lands at one point. Ooh. Expedition map is interesting. So card draw now out of the question. Crack the Scalding Tarn. Let's get a blue source. Let's get the irrigated farmland. Omen Machine, let's see what we got. It's a ley line of anticipation. That's pretty cool. Cast that. So if Dave casts his commander, then we can't cast anything. I think we should steal the Omen Machine, quite honestly. Also, he's tapped out right now, plus our Lavinia's in play. This all seems like recipe for good things. So we steal the Omen Machine, and with us having Lavinia in play, I think we're in pretty good shape now. Now he's down to whatever cards he has in his hand to solve the problem. So we swing with both. He goes down to 22. Omen Machine will trigger. He will not be able to cast that spell. Didn't see what it hit. Omen Machine works really weird on Magic Online. Doesn't always work quite right. So, actually, with his Lavinia down, oh yeah, I think that's still gonna prevent us from. So I don't think either of us will be able to get the card with Lavinia in play. Oh, this game. Oh, Aethersworn Canonist, huh? That's something. That does make it so that I don't want to attack with the ape. Our turn. Omen Machine triggers. Don't think we can cast it. Think it was a land? Not entirely sure. Oh, yeah, it must have been this Flooded Strand. Okay. So if we attack with the ape, then there's a chance that he blocks with both. And then we kind of lose our one creature right there. Although if we do that, then we kill his Lavinia, and then maybe we can get something with Omen Machine. So I guess that means we just keep swinging. No blocks. So he goes down to 17, 8 commander. We are well ahead in the life race, as I've mentioned. Omen Machine will trigger. Alms Collector coming down. All right, that gets countered because of Omen Machine. All right. Oh, this battle. Double Lavinia. Ooh, Pithing Needle. Thran Dynamo, probably. There's Battlefield. Crack this Flooded Strand. Make sure he doesn't choose Flooded Strand. Get a Tundra. Chooses Thran Dynamo. Okay. Brings it back to our turn. Omen Machine. It's another land. So, yeah, we just keep swinging. We have so many more lands that even if we lose our commander, we can just keep swinging with it. Or we can just keep recasting it. So, swing away. Wonder what his last card is. So, down to 12 he goes. 10 commander damage. In all likelihood, he will die before commander damage becomes a thing. Or there's Authority. So, Authority of the Console is coming in off of the Omen Machine, but then gets countered by Lavinia. So, Dave's going to send his Lavinia back in at us. Sure. We go down to 34, 2 commander. Omen Machine will trigger. Factor Fiction. Well, a lot of good this is going to do. It will both get countered, nor can we draw cards. Actually, no. Factor Fiction does skirt around Omen Machine because you're not actually drawing the cards. You're just putting them into piles and then putting them directly in your hand. So it's not actually card draw in the eyes of the rules. So would have been helpful, but doesn't matter either way. It gets countered. Swing with both. All right, he's going to block our commander. That will force us to recast our commander. So Lavinia down, Aethersworn Canonist down, and recast our commander. Lavinia back in. Dave's down to 9. Omen Machine. That Alms Collector, if that didn't get countered, would actually be huge against our 3-3. That 3-4 seems massive. Hits a Gitaxian Probe. That gets countered. Oh, his last card is Hokori Dust Drinker. Ooh, spicy. Does that mean, do we need to do anything? Do we need a board wipe right now? I mean, I'm still thinking that we just keep swinging with the 3-3. That seems like the plan. Doesn't really matter because we can't cast things for the most part. So we get to untap one land. We'll just pick this guy. Omen Machine triggers. There's a Blind Obedience. Cast it into the thing. Blind Obedience would actually not be terrible because then he can't recast his commander. I mean, again, it doesn't matter because it just gets countered, but swing with both. He's going to double block. I'm actually going to kill Lavinia because that means he has to recast it, and I don't think he actually has enough to do that. And there's a chance that we can hit something off Omen Machine while it's down, so that's something. Oh, actually, no, yeah, it's still on our turn, sorry. Yep, miscalled that. I mean, he still has to recast it, which he can do, but does he have enough? 6? Yeah, I think he can. Omen Machine's going to trigger. So he gets a Soul Ring. That gets countered off the Lavinia. He just spent 6. He has 9 lands currently, which means he can still cast his commander one more time. Trying to figure out how he wants to attack. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think the plan right now is just try to tax his Keep swinging, try to tax his commander out of the game. I don't really want to give up this Supreme Verdict yet. It's such a good card. Especially with like all the lock going on right now. We're primed to win this game. As long as something crazy doesn't happen. So we just need to keep doing what we're doing. We hit another land. Swing with the Lavinia. Gonna block with Hokori. So that goes down. Our lands can now untap. 8 to get our commander back in. Whew. Getting expensive. Need to crack this polluted delta. Get the Prairie Stream. Recast our commander. With our Thran Dynamo down, it's actually getting pretty expensive now. Probably could have. Oh yeah. So the reason that I did that during our turn is for the Omen Machine trigger. Otherwise, normally I would have just waited till the end step. But with Omen Machine, oh, that's a Gilded Drake that's getting countered. Yeah, that's exactly why we did that during our main phase and not sometime later in his turn. We're getting there 2 life at a time. Omen Machine trigger. Worn Power Stone, that's going to get countered. Swing with Lavinia. This game. Turn 16. So he blocks. They both go down. All right, so we've got 2. We can cast our commander one more time with no additional lands. Can Dave recast his? Yeah, I think he can. I think he's still good for 1 more. Nope, hits a land. I think he's good for 2 more now. That might change the tide. We may need to think about the Supreme Verdict. Cracking the Misty goes down to 6. That actually is 1 less hit now from Lavinia. Oh, man. Yep, Lavinia back to play. Oh, man. Yeah, he's got 2 left over, so we're about tied on mana in terms of recasting our commander. So we probably will need a Supreme Verdict at some point to kind of move past. Oh, Grand Arbiter Augustin. Oh, that 2/3 looks massive on this board state. Oh, to the graveyard it goes. Yeah, just keep swinging. Gotta keep the pressure on. So both Lavinia's down. Again, we can't let that Omen Machine trigger. Oh, we have a Strip Mine. Interesting. Well, we'll see who hits lands off of the Omen Machine. All right, so Strip Mine might be the play. That might be the one that gets us over the hump. Don't hit a land right here. That's a Moat that's getting countered. Yep. It's a good one to get rid of. I am also running Moat. All right, he's going for the full tap out right there. We also went for the full tap out. This is going to get spicy. We're due for a Sphinx. We haven't really seen any of our Sphinxes yet. All right, Omen Machine. We hit a... Ooh, it's an Ancient Tomb. Ancient Tomb's going to put us over the hump. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Swing with Lavinia. He's going to block. Yep. Both Lavinia's down. Use the Ancient Tomb. Lavinia back to play. He's going to need something. He's going to need an Ancient Tomb of his own. Temple of the False God. I don't think he runs Temple because that's too risky of a card. Peacekeeper getting countered. Yep. So, yeah, he does a little check on mana. Does not have enough for his commander. That's an Aura of Silence. Not only that, Aura of Silence can shoot that Pithing Needle if we need to. Cast the Aura of Silence. Boom. Now we are set up. And he's just going to scoop it right there. Good game, man. Good game. That was, I don't know. I mean, we got lucky that he just targeted the other opponent with the win the game effect. But other than that, I mean, we had a bigger creature, and then he shot it, and we still had a bigger creature, and just leveraged that to our advantage. So, this deck. Right there against his version of the deck, I think his version's stronger. He's going pure combo, just as heavy stacks as possible. I'm trying to go for more of the blow up all the land kind of thing with a big flyer in play. We didn't actually run into any of our flyers, which was kind of frustrating, other than the Consecrated Sphinx. Actually, we did draw 2 pretty big cards with that Consecrated Sphinx. Even just those 2 cards, I think, was just enough to win the game. Wasn't easy, and it took us a long time to do it, but... just 2 cards with Consecrated Sphinx, still a game winner. But yeah, so when you get into a Lavinia mirror match like that, I don't know. I mean, it's a really weird place to be when you have a Stax deck versus a Stax deck. We hit really hard with that Austere Command. If we didn't get that Austere Command down for some reason, I think he just wins that game on the Rhystic Study and just all the other effects he had going on. Just a lot happening right there. So, Austere Command was the big play from us to set us up, and then it was just kind of that grind through the later half of the game. And yeah, I don't think I can attribute that win to skill. That's just things happened the way they happened in that game, and we were fortunate to come out ahead. I think is really what happened there is the only way that I can really look at it. But one of the things I saw from his deck that I liked, he does have more spot removal. I think I need to up the spot removal count. It is really tricky to balance out all the things you want, especially with all these getting the right number of creatures. Like, we couldn't really find a creature when we wanted it. So yeah, getting the right number of creatures, getting the right number of stacks effects, getting the right amount of removal, right number of counter spells, all that stuff. I have quite a bit of mana ramp going because the plan is kind of ramp into land destruction, so we still have artifacts left over. But yeah, it's a really nasty deck. You probably just shouldn't play it unless your friends are playing like really, really awful decks also. And as we saw in that first game against Olivia and other decks, it's a really strong deck, but I don't know where it stands in the tier of really strong decks. Like, if you tune it the right way, I'm sure it can be very, very good. I would not necessarily call this a tuned version of the deck. So, you know, it matters how you tune it up. It matters what kind of meta you're facing it in. I think against some decks it's going to be really good, and against other decks it may not be. So still trying to figure out exactly where this kind of sits in the realm of really good decks. But yeah, Lavinia blue-white Stax. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.